Hi, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Lily, I'm 19 years old, and I'm basically starting a video blog to talk about things that are going on in my life. One particular thing being my boyfriend Caden, who is transitioning from female to male. There is a page called FTM Sweethearts, which I'm hoping to post these videos onto once they've got in contact with me, as I think that's how it works anyway. And just like update what's happening and where we are and etc, which is what most people do on there. Caden has his own YouTube too, which is Caden-J and then a separate C. That's his YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel anyway. So yeah, basically I'll tell you a bit about us so that I don't have to keep going on about it in all my other videos. This is just my introduction. We met when we were about 13, 14. We did dance together, and then we ended up working at a football ground together. And from there we became like in the same circle of friends, and it just went from there really. Got to know each other better. So we officially started going out on October the 14th, 2012. So we've been together just over a year and a half now. And we were seeing each other for a couple of months before that too. Back then, Caden had not come out as trans and identified as bisexual to me when we first got together, although I always knew that he wasn't bisexual because he was sort of repulsed by the idea of men in a sexual way. So I kind of always knew that. And can understand why she at the time wasn't comfortable with the term lesbian, and we talked a lot about why that wasn't okay. And she always said, "Oh, like I'm just not comfortable with it. I don't like it. I'm not a lesbian." And actually, before we even got together, when we were drunk one night at a party, Caden said to me that she'd always felt like she was supposed to be a guy and that she'd been born in the wrong body. And at the time I just felt really sorry for her, and I just thought it was an awful thing. And I said, like, at the time I said, "Oh, is it something that like you'd think about like changing, transitioning?" And at the time she said no, and that that's the way God made her and that's the way she should be, and like that she didn't want to go through it all basically. And even then I kind of thought that maybe a time would come that would change, and it did. So without sort of meaning to, I did nag at her a bit, and sort of we would have lots of conversations about it. I always kind of said, "Oh, like, are you sure?" And like at night times we'd always get into like deep conversations, and it would always come back to that how uncomfortable she felt in her body, and it used to make me sad because I loved her and her body and everything about her. I found it hard to like accept that she was so unhappy. And then our friend Max, who is trans, used to go to these meetings in London for trans people. I forget the name now. If I can find it, I'll post it on my channel. But Caden said, "Oh, I'm gonna like keep him company. I'm gonna go with him." So I kind of had a feeling that something might come out of it, and that he might come back and tell me that he'd been thinking about it. I got a call that day from her saying, "What do you think of the name Caden?" And that was the first thing that she said to me, and from then I knew. It was a shock, but I knew that this was the beginning of something. And I was in shock. I was really upset, not because I didn't want her to do it, but I was just very scared because I didn't know all that much about it, and it just terrified me, the thought of all this change, which was a bit selfish, I know, but it's hard to not be when you first get told. And she came home that day, and we laid in bed for about 4 hours and just cried, both of us, because we knew there was change to come. And I just actually watched a video of myself that I made, which I was going to post and never did, of my first sort of reaction to it. And I'm very tearful in the video, and I kind of say, basically how scared I am, and how I just want her to be happy, which is obviously what's happened. And all I ever wanted was for her to be happy in herself and love herself as much as I love her. So it was also difficult, which I also said in my video, because my family had only just begun to accept that I was with a female, as it was my first sort of gay relationship, and it was very unexpected for my family, and we both had a really rough time getting them to accept her and me and us together, so it was pretty rough. And so then when this happened, I felt like we were back at square one, like I was going to have to tell my mum again. And so basically, from then till now, lots of stuff has happened. Caden went to the doctor. The doctor referred her to Tavistock, which was a children's mental health clinic in London. However, she was just about to turn 18, and so it wasn't any good. So they ended up referring her to the gender identity clinic in London. I think it's Charing Cross. From yet, we're still to hear from, amazingly. They said that there was a long waiting list, but this is just crazy. I mean, Caden got a letter about 3 months ago saying that they'd received the referral, and that if Caden still wanted an appointment, then he needed to reply to the letter, which he did, and from then we've had nothing. This all on a time scale. This has been about a year. Caden's been out as trans now, to everyone, and so you can see how long the NHS route has taken. So Caden decided to go private for treatment with Dr. Curtis, who is based in London also. So all he had to do was have one session with Dr. Curtis, 2 counselling sessions, and then went to see Dr. Curtis again, who then gave him the go-ahead for testosterone, which was all prescribed through the doctor, so that was really cool. Didn't have to pay for testosterone or the blood test, which you have to have prior so that they can check all your hormone levels. So that's really good. And now he is currently about 6.5 weeks on testosterone. He had his second jab after 6 weeks of his first shot, and from now on they're going to be every 3 months. So yeah, I'm going to also post another video just after this separately about the physical changes that I've noticed so far, and how our relationship's been going since then, because otherwise this introductory video is going to go on for 15 minutes. So I think that's about it. I'm going to keep updating this as regularly as I can, but I just wanted to do it for people who are in the same position as me and who really need support and want to know more about what it's like to be with a partner, because it is difficult for everyone involved, and it's hard because there's not that many of us out there. So we need all the support we can get. So yeah, that's it. Please subscribe if you're interested in my vlog. And yeah. Okay, so bye for now.